Hello, very good afternoon to all. So, we're going to start the session at 3 p.m.
हॅलो पाटील सर, आवाज येतोय? हॅलो, आवाज येतोय? हॅलो,
Yes, sir.
हॅलो,
Yes,
हॅलो,
sir.
आवाज
Voice is not audible.
Yes, Tushar, we are starting. Just some seconds. Is it Tushar? Tushar, we are just starting in few
Yes, sir.
seconds.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Tushar. पवार सर नमस्कार.
हाँ नमस्ते सर.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Good
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Sir,
Where
if you
am
are
I?
ready, yes, sir. Yes, Chan. Yeah. If you are ready, yes. Shall we start, sir?
Just give me a minute, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
Because there is an issue with the internet in the campus. So I
Mhm.
just switched to Wi-Fi, mobile
Yes,
Wi-Fi.
sir. Please take your time.
If I'm audible and clear, we will go with the mobile Wi-Fi. No issue.
You are perfectly audible, sir.
Okay, then we will go with this.
Yes. If you
we'll
feel
not
like
wait.
there is some, yeah, yes, sir.
We'll go with this. We'll not wait. It's
Yes,
already
sir.
10 minutes late. We are
No,
running
it's
late.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It is fine, sir. If you feel like there is some unstable network, you can switch off your video afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it is fine now. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Then we will start. Huh? Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Pawar sir, thank you so much. Let me first welcome you. Right, because of the busy schedule, there was a meeting reschedule of our principal sir, so he could not join right now. Let me welcome the deans, the heads of departments, then our faculty colleagues who have joined now. So I welcome them. It is extremely essential that we should know the importance of communication skills, soft skills, as well as how to face the interview. And I strongly believe that facing an interview is a skill. And once we know that it is a skill, then we are able to control it. We are able to manage it properly. We are able to face it properly and effectively. I am extremely delighted to invite Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir, today's speaker for this session on interview techniques. So I request all the students to listen to sir very carefully. And if you have doubts, questions, please feel free to ask him doubts, your questions, or share your opinion. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much once again for accepting our request actually. Okay, in your, of course, engaged schedule.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Our training and placement officer, Mr. Suraj Kumar sir, wishes to say a few words here. Suraj Kumar sir, please share your words.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfectly audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Firstly, from TNP department, I am very much thankful to you, sir, Patil sir, for arranging this very important session. And I welcome Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir for giving us time to give the session on interview techniques. And I must say this is very important, actually, the topic, the interview techniques. And sir, you are rightly time, sir. Yes, Patil sir, you are on rightly time. You have organized this session, so I am very much thankful to you, sir. Firstly, and also Pradeep Pawar sir giving his consent to give this session to our students. So I am also very much thankful to him. I want to say from now our B students now very soon they are going to face the interview. As we know, in next months we have the uh, exams of TCS, then Wipros. Means student first they are going to give the aptitude test, then they are going to face the interview. So in now all these things are in a pipeline. So in the next month, all the B students, those who are eligible for TCS, Wipro or Capgemini, or and many more companies are there. So this is the right time, sir. We have organized this session, and it is very much useful to the students. So I am very much assured that the student will get benefited of this session, and they will take more input from this session. So I appeal to all students also to sincerely attend this session. If you have any doubt, you can ask to the Patil sir, Pawar sir, and then take benefit of this session, as we are going to face the interviews in the next months. And the students who are from second year or third year, they also take benefit of it, because very soon in next year they are also going to face the interview. So thank you, Patil sir, for arranging this session. And I know this is the very important session from student point of view, because most of the students, they are having fear about interview, how to face the interview. Few students are having issues of the communication skill, or many more things, or having fear in a mind to how to face or how to tackle the interview. So this is very most important session, I must say. So yes, sir. Thank you, sir, Patil sir, and very welcome to the Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir.
Yes, sir. Please do
So,
not say
yes.
thank you. Yes, yes. Sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it is
Yes,
our
sir.
collective job responsibility.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you
Yes, sir.
so much for your words.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Surely they will motivate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, surely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I request our IT student Om Kakade to introduce our guest. Let me first share the screen. Dr. Pawar sir, let me share the screen. Om, can you see the screen? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Om, you can continue. Please, yeah.
A very warm good afternoon to one and all. I am Kakade Om Santosh. At the very first, I thank Professor Anil Patil sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to introduce our today's speaker. Friends, communication is key, is the only motto of the session. So friends, today I am pleased to welcome Dr. Pradeep Pawar, our very special guest from Islampur, Sangli, for today's special session. Today, he will be sharing with us his expert opinion on interview techniques. Let me glance his professional background to you all. Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir has completed his Mastery of Arts in English first class at Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He qualified his state eligibility test in English SET in 2016. He has completed his PhD in English at Shivaji University, Kolhapur in 2020. He has even completed refreshers and trainings program organized by AICTE and Yashodhan, Pune. Presently, he is working as an assistant professor of English and communication skills at Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology, Islampur, Sangli. Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir has published research papers in reputed journals. To speak about his skills and interests, his skills and interests include teaching, training, proofreading, editing, technical writing, counseling, MS Office, and translation. With that, I request you all to give your attention to Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir and welcome him on the platform. Dr. Pradeep Pawar sir, please.
Pawar sir, I have stopped sharing. You can share now.
Thank you very much. May I share?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Just a minute. Huh?
Yes, sir. Please take your time.
Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, perfectly visible, sir.
Yeah, PPT mode is on.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, please.
So, good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for this very warm welcome by all of you. First of all, I'm very much thankful to the management, respected principal of Vidya Pratishthan's Kamalendra Bajaj Institute of Engineering and Technology, Baramati. I'm also thankful to the Training and Placement Department for inviting me as an expert speaker for this session. Also thankful to the head of first year engineering for inviting me to put my views on interview techniques. Before actually moving with the aims and objectives of the session, let me start my session with an interesting story. I hope all of you will enjoy this story. It is related to screening, interviewing, and it deals with the two, we can say, the ages. One is old age and one is postmodern era, or the present age, we can say. So the story I would like to tell you is that, so there is an old, this is an old story. It is about young prince who was of marriageable age. The prince made it very clear that he wanted a wife who could provide him an intellectual companionship. Physical asset such as fair complexion or beautiful eyes, these has held no attraction for this prince. Nor did he insist that the girl be of a royal, we can say, origin. The only quality he was looking for in his bride was a high IQ. IQ, all of you know that is intelligence quotient. And accordingly, the announcement has been done, and the administrative team, or the people in his court, they started searching for the proper, we can say, the suitable companion, and they start a thorough, we can say, search in their kingdom. And they screened, they met, they interviewed many these kinds of girls, and then the three young damsels, we can say, were selected and produced in the court before the prince for the final selection. The prince, during this selection, for the final selection, he has posed a very simple one question to all the three girls. And the question was, how much do 2 plus 2 make? Very simple question. What is 2 plus 2? When the question is was there for the first girl, the girl was amused by this very simple question and answered politely that, for your highness. The second girl, she was overawed by this royal presence. She get frightened, she get nervous, she get stressed, and get thoroughly confused. And somehow she managed to mumble the reply with hesitation, and her reply was 3. The third girl, she tossed her head and said very confidently, clearly, that I don't know, and I am not bothered about the answer, not bothered about it. Surprisingly, this prince had selected that third girl, and and that prince has married that girl. And you will be surprised again to know that, incidentally, that third girl was a bewitching beauty. I don't know how many of you know this term, bewitching. It's actually a literary term, and the meaning is very beautiful. Uh, that we call it in Marathi like mohun taknari ashi beauty. So that the girl was surprisingly that very much very beautiful. Now we will come to the modern era, and there is in a modern day, actually a sequel has happened to this story. In the present era, a multinational firm that wanted to recruit a result-oriented young graduate, engineering graduate, we can say, because all of you are engineering students, so we'll put this context here. The result-oriented, the bright young man in the top position of their sales department that they want to recruit. Now, in order to avoid any kind of personal bias, because the company is very much strict and they want to ensure fairness in it. And it was decided that all the applications that will be screened, okay, by the computer. So all the data they put through the computer applications, and they screened the applications or the candidates for the to maintain to achieve the fairness in it, or to keep the biased view aside. And the applicant who was given the highest ranking in this screening by the computer, they are going to be, or that candidate, that person is going to be appointed by the company. Now, in the present day also, luckily what happened is that the three young engineering graduates, they secured the same grades, same marks, we can say, or the same identical highest score. And this has created a problem in front of the management or the board there. And the problem that is generated because there is only one vacancy. So after much deliberation, discussions among these members, it was decided that all the three applicants, they would appear before the chairman of that board of governance or board of directors, we can say. And they would be, they all would be asked, fortunately, the same question by the chairman, and the candidate coming up with the correct answer at that time, that is going to get the job. So without much originality, the question placed before the candidates, and that was surprisingly again the same question: how much do 2 plus 2 make? That is the same question. Now the first candidate who means these three candidates are belong to three different stratas of social life. So this first candidate, he was he's belonging to the middle class family, and he gave a very brief, precise, short answer like 2 plus 2, that is 4. He said that, and he stood there respectfully in front of the chair. The second candidate, who came from the business community, having some kind of business background, and he was having a shrewd kind of nature, and he answered shrewdly in that same kind of tone and the manner that the answer can be either 3 or 5. Now it depends on whether you are buying or selling the product. Okay, so it may be 3 or 5, depending on buying or selling activity. So the first was from middle class, second from business community, and the third candidate, he belongs to a very higher strata of the society. Okay, high class we call it. And he very confidently and elegantly replied in that session that, well, gentlemen, the answer can be whatever you want it to be. I will make it whatever you want it to be. I can make it anything that is from 0 to infinity, according to whatever your requirements are. So in this way, this third person answered the question. Now you have two different contexts. One is a complete story with among the girls who get married and they live their life happily in the ancient age. And in the present age, again, three candidates are interviewed. Now the answer is yet not disclosed. And now it is not very difficult to guess for all of you to know that who got the job, right? I'm not disclosing the answer. You please keep guessing during this session, but please pay your attention to the content that I would like to take it to you. And I will disclose the answer of this question at the end of this session. Okay. But before moving ahead, I would like to tell you that though we don't know what exactly happened at the end, but we heard a story. Okay. And I would like to appeal all of you that whenever you hear any story or you read any article, you read any content, you listen to any lecture or any content, any presentation, it's my request to all of you that always try to ask yourself that at the end of that reading or listening, that what are your learnings from it. So again, the question comes about this story, that what are our learnings from this story? The first learning is that the recruiters are always in search of best, or we can say the suitable candidate for them, for which these recruiters used to follow the different screening methods. See, the methods may change. In the ancient age, ancient time, the screening policy method was different. Presently, the another or different screening or standard formal screening method is used, but there is a screening for the best candidate. Okay, forget about the context for which either for the marriage or for the business or for any other thing. Now, as a candidate, you should appear for the selection process with thorough preparation. You have to take this event seriously, take this process seriously, and you have to prepare yourself. You have to ask yourself to prepare it very seriously for the selection process. Friends, your presentation, your presence during the screening process, it should be with a very, very highly positive and assertive approach. Okay. Though you can't control the interviewers or the people who are going to, or the selection committee, we can say, but one thing you can control. Okay, you can control the selection committee's decision. How you can control it? You can control it with your high and very impressive kind of performance during the interview. Now, to impress the decision, to make or to compel the interviewers to select you or to change their decision or to make the decision like they should select you, you have to perform better. Okay, and this is only thing that can change their decision, that can change the decision. Now I would like to, or I have planned this session with some objectives in my mind, and these are relevant to all these things that are our learnings from the story related to that. And I'm quite sure that at the end of this session or after this session, incoming, as your training and placement officer had said, that very soon, or this is the right time that we are having this session, and very soon the companies will start visiting, or might be it has started visiting. And I'm quite sure that those who are listening to this session seriously, they will definitely convert these my objectives in the outcome. Objectives, that means we plan something to do. Outcomes, that is actually what has happened or what you have showcased, right? So that I'm quite sure about. Now, what kind of objectives that I have planned for this session? That at the end of the session, every one of you will be able to state what kind of preparation required for the interview. Another objective is that you will be able to explain the do's and don'ts of the interview. Do's and don'ts for the interview. You will be able to demonstrate the positive body language during the interview. That is very important. Might be your sir has told you that body language plays a very important role in communication. You will be able to interact confidently after this session with the interviewer or panel of interviewers. Okay. And finally, you will be able to answer confidently the most common questions that are, or we can say FAQs, frequently asked questions in the interview. So that you will be able to prepare yourself for. Right. Now, as we are talking about the job application, interview process, here, the very first step that comes is a job application. Job application, it consists of three different things. One is cover letter, second is your resume, and the third is documentary evidences that you are keeping with you. Due to time constraint, I'm not going to discuss with you all these relevant or related things with the interview techniques. I will go directly to the interview techniques, but I would like to bring your attention to each and every small component in interview process or interview, wherein very first thing is your job application, and you have to be very careful while drafting the cover letter, while preparing your resume, what should be added, what should not be added. Your sir will definitely will discuss with you about all these things, and how to prepare your documentary evidences. So these things definitely you need to take care of. Now, as an interviewee, as a candidate, you should, all of you, those who are going to appear for the interview, they should know about why the interviewers are there, what kind of objectives they are carrying with them, what kind of agenda these interviewers are having. And this agenda is hidden agenda. They never disclose it to you that I'm looking for, or we are looking for these things, or we will screen you for these things. So these are the hidden things. But with discussions, with studies, the people have explored these agendas, and we can find these things in the different resources. Okay, so the following are some of these typical, we can say, the concerns these interviewers they have, which you need to address when you are answering the questions, when you are acting in the interview. Okay, so these are the points you can see on the screen. These are the relevant questions to these points you may ask. Okay, so the first is, does the applicant have the ability to do the job? Okay, does the applicant have the ability to do the job? This question interviewers will ask themselves while they are screening you, while they are testing you, while they are checking you, your performance there in the interview. Another thing is that, can the candidate manage the people? Do you have the ability or the skills to manage the people management skills? There are different titles for this. Okay, what kind of person this candidate is, whether he is a leader. They will ask that whether this candidate is having leadership skills. They will ask that with what strengths does this candidate have, and whether those strengths are matching with the company's expectations. Another thing they will ask that whether this candidate is having some weaknesses, and if these weaknesses are there, whether those weaknesses are going to hamper his or her performance in the company, or the progress of the organization. That also they will ask. This is again an agenda. They will ask that what kind of contributions, what contributions has this candidate made. Now the contributions, the question may come in your mind, like what contributions are. If you are fresher during academics, what you have done. If you are experienced in the academics as well as in the industry, what you have done. During academics, what kind of research, internships, okay, any trainings, any participation or leading different events, what you have done. So these contributions they will check, or whether these are the relevant to the what company is looking for. They will also interested in your ambitions. What are the candidates' ambitions? And are those ambitions, are those goals, objectives realistic? Or just for the sake of interview, for the sake of interaction, you are telling those ambitions or the objectives to the committee members. And finally, they will check that whether does this candidate have the growth potential. Growth potential is there with you or not. Means whether you are positive, whether you are looking forward in future for the development of yourself as well as the organization. So that they will look for. Okay. So what we discussed is, we discussed one story in the beginning. Then we talked about the objectives. Then we talked about the what are the interviewers, with what kind of objectives or the agenda the interviewers come to, or the companies come to your campus to screen the candidates. Okay. Now we will, before moving ahead, we will look, we'll discuss about the different types of interviews. Different types of interviews. Friends, there are 4 to 5 major types of interviews are there. Most of you are knowing these things: personal interview, group interview, panel interview, telephonic interview, and online interview. The first 3, that is personal interview, group interview, and panel interview, these things will be actually conducted physically as a final screening process. But the last 2, that is telephonic interview, as you can see on the screen, and the online interview, that will be conducted as a prior to final interview, prior screening kinds of activities or tests. Okay, so we'll look at each type in brief, so that we could move ahead with the further core of the discussion, that is the tips of interview, do's and don'ts of interview. So the first is personal interview, being the most common of the interviews format. This is the most expected from any interview, and the candidates are expected to prepare for it. This is generally a one-to-one form of interaction, wherein the job recruiters, company that asks the candidate questions, which could be both, we can say, the general as well as technical. Your TPO and the trainers and the teachers, they might have told you that there are HR interviews, general interviews, HR interviews, and some of the companies, they conduct technical interviews. Sometimes both get mixed. Okay, so on the basis of the answers that the candidate give, the interviewers judge you. Now this judging is not only based on the answers that you have given, but they will judge many things parallelly: your approach, attitude, the things you have done, your knowledge, everything that we are going to discuss it. And they will judge through the answers and through the interaction whether you are fit for the job in that organization or not. Another type is group interview. A group interview is one of the variant of this personal interview, okay, which has multiple, we can say, the candidates instead of one. In personal interview, there is one candidate, but here in a group interview, instead of one, there are multiple candidates. Okay. So you will be interviewed in a group wherein you will be given a topic to discuss among each other. So it is generally we call it as a group discussion. Okay. And the candidates discussing the topic in, they're expected to discuss it in their most able ways, and they will check that whether you have convincing abilities means whether you can convince the others for your views, your points, your knowledge, your opinion. Okay, so that they will check. So here in the group discussion, as all of you know, that especially the team skills, leadership skills, managerial skills, language, body language, all these things get assessed. Okay, so these two are very much common. The third is a panel interview, which is actually get done for the higher positions, not for the entrants. For the higher level positions, the panel interviews are conducted. So here a group of experts who are generally the senior people in the organization, in the same organization, they come together, and or the management, it forms that that committee, that panel, and their variety of experiences, their immense experience, we can say, their talent, their expertise, that is get used to screen the candidate for the higher position. As I told you, it is general, this tool, this method is usually used for the selection of people in the senior or higher positions. Now the last two, and one of it is telephonic interview. As I told you, this will be the prior to your personal interview, prior to your group or panel interview. In case with, if there are large number of candidates, or those who, for whom it is not convenient to attend the interview at a specific geographical location. Okay, these two are used. But let us discuss this first one. This interview, telephonic interview format, is conducted as the title itself tells, that on the telephone. And one of the most important reason this is done is to narrow the potential job seekers. If you have thousands of applications, then you can screen the candidates with this, so that only the most eligible candidates, most eligible one, get finally shortlisted for the personal interview or group interview, you can say. It depends, like what kind of selection process they have followed, or the company is going to follow. So this is normally done, as I said, that in the initial stages before the personal interview. And this type of interview also helps the organization to connect the potential candidate who are geographically far away or at a distance space. Okay. Another parallel type of form is, or the type is, online interview. Today, the digitalization has, as all of you witnessing and knowing, that it has advanced it has influenced the all facets of life, all aspects of life, as well as this interview or the recruitment practices also. So this some of the multinational digitally advanced organizations or the companies, they use this online medium like video calling, video conferencing, we call it, to communicate with the potential job seeker. The interview skills, they aren't hampered here, because visually you are present, though electronically you are still present in front of the interviewers, and you can see each other. The interviewers, the panel can observe you on different parameters, correct? So the interview questions are just like the personal interview, in the personal interview that get asked. And this is specially done for the candidates who don't live in the same, we can say, geographical area. There again, or if the candidate requests to the company, to the interviewers, that the candidate is having some inconvenience. It may be some medical problems, some we can say the travel inconvenience, maybe any kind of reason also will be treated before conducting this online interview. Okay, so this is a good in a way such interview can be arranged in a very short, we can say, notice. And here the companies, organizations, they need not to send the days together, they need not to send the notice or the invitation days together to the interview, right? So these are the variety, different types of we can say the interview. Okay, personal interview, group interview, panel interview, telephonic, and online interview. Right now, as I told you that these employers, these interviewers, they are looking for some kind of skills and abilities in the candidate. And all of you now, after the discussion till this point, all of you may now come to know that the interview, this event of interview or this meeting, it is a very structured kind of meeting between the candidate, the applicant, and the employer or the organization. And what the company is looking for, as you can see on the screen: job skills, flexibility, dependability, teamwork, productivity, creative thinking and problem solving, organizational and leadership skills, managerial skills, you can say, communication, customer service, lifelong learner, ethics and integrity, and the computer skills. Friends, I always instruct my students that your preparation for the interview never start 10-15 days before the interview or 1 month before the interview. It's a wrong, or we can say, misinterpretation of it. Your preparation for the interview starts from day one when you entered into engineering educational institute. Because from day one, you have to look for, you have to take care of your resume, how you will build it, how you will make it strong by participating in different activities, in research activities, curricular activities, co-curricular activities. Okay, so since day one, you have to keep preparing yourself for the interview. And as you can see on the list on the screen, it is highly difficult to showcase these things through your interview. Within 15 days, you can't prepare yourself for the interview, looking at the list that is displayed on the screen. So for each item, you have to spend days together to develop these abilities and skills and attitudinal changes, to bring attitudinal changes in you. It is highly difficult, my friends, to do or to develop these things within a short span of time. Okay, so you have to plan, like, how I am scheduling, I am taking care of my time that is available with you and the resources that are available with you. Okay, so we are now moving slowly towards the preparation. Okay, so interview, it is a skill, as I told you, and it is like riding your bicycle. Okay, wherein practice makes you perfect. We always hear this, that practice makes man perfect. So practice is required. So the key for success, don't forget that for success in the interview is again the practice. You have to practice, you have to prepare yourself. Okay, so this preparation for the interview comes in 3 different stages. These skills and abilities, showcasing skills and abilities, and preparing for the interview, that comes in 3 different stages. The first one is before the interview, what kind of preparation you are required to make. During the interview, how you will perform, what kind of things you will showcase, how you will showcase them. And after the interview, you are expected to do a few things in response to that interview event. Okay, so what exactly you are supposed to do in all these three stages that we will discuss in detail with, means this all these three discussion of all these three stages, it will incorporate the, or it will have the discussion on the tips, the tricks, the techniques, you may call it as do's and don'ts of the interview, right? So moving with the first, that is before the interview, what kind of things you are supposed to do. As I told you that the key of a successful interview is the confidence. You should have confidence, belief, trust in yourself. Unless it is not there, you can't be successful. Not only in interview, but anywhere in your life occasions, life events, or the competitions, right? Confidence is very important. So if you believe that you are the right person for the job and you are confident, then there is a possibility, it is likely that your interviewer will also believe that too. If you are not confident, then how you expect or how you will convince your interviewer to be confident, to trust you? It will be very difficult for you in this case. So be confident, and this confidence you can bring in you only with the preparation, only with the practice. Okay, so another important thing is that you have to improve your confidence with you have to talk fluently, and for that you have to talk more. You can practice by facing to mirror. You may stand in front of mirror and you may talk to yourself. Okay, and what you have to talk, you have to talk about yourself, you have to talk about your dreams, you have to talk about your strengths. Okay, and please be careful that, or focus on, we can say, focus on speaking fluently either to yourself or with the others without a kind of stumbling or fidgeting, right? Third thing is that it's essential that whichever the language you speak, or whichever the language in which that interview will be conducted, you should have a good command over that language. Brush up your grammar rules also. Friends, you may ask yourself that whether you are good with your mother tongue. Ask this question to yourself. And about language, one of my teachers has told me during my graduation that if you want to have a command over second language, you should have a command over your mother tongue first. Unless you have command over one language, you can't learn, or you can't be expert in the second language, right? Next important thing is that you have to listen to the news in the language that you are going to use for that interview or for that exam, we can say. And this listening to the news, it is going to help you to correct your pronunciations. This will help you to correct your pronunciations. Okay, and also it will tell you that how the language, means if you will listen to the standard presentations in English, you will come to know that how the things or the content or the flow of language is, flow of content is, connectivity of the content is. Okay, next important thing is that you have to remember that while it's good, okay, to talk eloquently, you should not ramble on it during the interview. Okay, speak clearly, concisely, So you express your thoughts in the best possible way. Speak clearly and concisely. Okay. Don't ramble on your eloquency of the language. Okay. Briefness, being to the point, clarity in the thought that the interviewers are looking for. So please take care of it. Very important. People usually forget to do this. The sixth point. That is, you have to know your resume inside out. Inside out. That knowing something inside out means knowing each and every detail of the thing. You should know everything about your resume. As considering that anything may be asked based on a single term that you have mentioned on the resume. Okay, there are many things you provide. You provide there about your education, details of your education, your co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities, your awards, your projects. So many things we mention about on the resume. So you should be able to confidently speak about each and every point on the resume. Please make it very sure. Because many times what happens is students, they copy the formats, and while copying the format unintentionally, sometimes students copy, or the candidates copy the content also, and this put them in the very troublesome situation. Because in the interview, these panel members or the interviewers, they will have your resume in front of them, or they will be there after studying your resume. So they will have some questions in the mind based on your resume. If you don't know yourself what your resume is, how you are expecting that you will perform or you will speak confidently about your activities in your life till date. Okay. Next important thing that you have to take care is about the organization. Thoroughly research the organization. Go to website of the organization, go to different publications, annual reports of the organization. Try to understand what kind of the structure, organizational structure that company is having. Study it, research it, and prepare at least 1 or 2 questions that you may ask if required. If asked by the interviewers, you may ask, means you should be in a position to ask those tricky, interesting questions to the interviewers about the organization. And these questions, my friends, should not be about salary or some your personal benefits. It should be about the company, the future, or the we can say the objectives, the aims of the company, 5-year plan of the company. So that you should study and make some questions about it. While, because during the study, definitely such kind of questions may come in your mind about which you couldn't find the answers, for which you couldn't find the answers in these resources like website and annual reports. Okay. So this definitely shows a genuine interest of yours in the role, in the position, in the organization. Okay. So this you have to take care of. Another thing is that sir, could you please mute that?
Sir, I have done, sir. Yeah, please. Thanks. Sorry for that. Please continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. So next important thing that you have to do is try planning your answers to a few questions that you will definitely come across. Now, these questions, all of you know that. Very common is introduce yourself. Okay, and few more like why are you interested in this job? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why do you think that you should be selected for this role, for this position? Okay, and you are advised not to write the answers to these questions, not to write answers to these questions. Okay, instead of that, instead of writing the detailed answers to these questions, just jot down important points that you would like to speak about in a response to such kind of questions. And thus, you will be in a position to maintain the natural tone, or we can say you will be, you will make yourself in the interview. Many times for the interview sake, we try to put ourselves in a different role. So, and thus we get easily catch by the interviewers. Okay. So before the interview, another important thing is that practice all these things, like making a mock of that interview with your friends, your relatives, um, your seniors. Okay. And nowadays, these digital devices are there with you, mobile phones and recording facilities easily available. Just record that performance or ask somebody to record it, that your question answer session and all. And then assess this recording for your language, for your body language, for your answers, for your content, for the technicality of it, technical content of it, everything. Okay. You, with this recording, you will come to know that what are your weaknesses, where, what are the areas that you need to improve on. Right. Very important next thing is that be on time for the interview. Before the day of the interview, make sure where the interview would be held, that location, where the location is. Take time to find out that location days before the actual days before the actual interview, and keep in mind to leave enough to have enough time for the journey to the place where the interview is going to be, or that location we can say. Okay, do plan to arrive minimum 10 minutes before the interview at the actual place, not in the area where the interview is, at the actual place, in the building, in the same room where you will be kept waiting for the interview. Okay, late arrival for this event is or cannot be excused. Okay, it may cost a lot to you. Okay, unfortunately, due to some unavoidable reasons that are not the conditions that are not there in your hand, if you are getting late, it is better to make a phone call to the desk. Okay, and tell them where you are and in what condition you are and how much time it will take to you to reach to the place. Definitely the organizers will help you in this regard, or they will wait for you. Right, when you will be there at the interview place, during the whole process, when to all different people you will interact related to that organization, you have to maintain proper eye contact with them. Okay, and especially with the interviewers. Right, now during this interview or in preparation of interview that we are discussing, we or the students, they are generally in search of different terms. These terms they need while answering the questions, while preparing their resume, while writing the cover letter. Okay, so everywhere some of the terms they will be in need of. Now these terms that you will be in a position to easily, okay, just a minute. Okay, so in your library on internet also, you will find the list of such terms there. You please go through these terms and find out where you can put these terms in your answers, in your resume, okay, and the relevant places in the interview, interview content or the literature that you are going to prepare. Okay, so I'm not going to read this list. I'm just showing it to trigger your thought that it is available there. Please go to it. Please get it downloaded. Go through it. Write down the meanings of these terms. Write down in front of the term like where in the resume where these terms I may use, or for which questions or for the answers of which questions I may use these terms. Okay, these are some of the adjectives that also you may use to describe your skills and abilities, okay, during your answers and in the resume also. Okay,
Sir,
yes, please. Anyone would like to ask anything?
yes, sir.
Yes, please.
How to explain gap in the year, gap of year in the interview?
See, in the interview, you have to be very careful that you will be honest. So for whatever the reason that gap is there, you have to tell the interviewers plainly that this is the reason, that's why the gap is there. But definitely interviewers will be interested to know about what you have done during that gap. And you should be in a position to tell them that how creatively, how effectively you have used those days for the self-development. So that answer should be there with you. Lying is not recommended. No, please don't do that. Okay. I hope that I have answered your question. So whenever there is a gap, you please utilize that gap for different trainings, internships, or some other creative such things that will develop your knowledge. And that's why I told you that your preparation for the interview starts from day one when you entered into such professional organizations or the educational institutes like engineering. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what you have to do during the interview? The first thing very important is that you have to practice the positive body language. Even if the interviewer hasn't actively studied your body language, that interviewers definitely will still they will pick some general signs from your body language, right? So remember, you should not fidget, stand still and relaxed in the chair in the interview. Okay, you have to avoid using poor language, or you may call it as a slang, okay, to impress the interviewers. Don't use it. Don't be very casual in the interview. Use familiar but concise, precise terms, words during the interview. Okay, focus on speaking positively, assertively, and try to avoid any negativity in your answers, in your verbal and non-verbal responses. Okay, so if you will do this, if you will take care of this, this gives a more kind of positive effect on your interviewer or in whole your interview, and thus there will be you are going to increase the chances of getting selected. This will increase the we can say the positive response from the interviewers. Now this response will be resulted into your marks, your finalization for the position, etc. Okay, try to be very professional when you are speaking. Avoid any kind of pity conversation. Avoid any kind of blaming. Okay. Complaining kind of tone, sound. Now, this complaining may be for yourself, for the situation, for the context, for the institute, for the environment, anything. Don't be in a complaining mode. Okay. Try to be very polite, be calm. See, when you are showing anger, your aggressiveness, your arrogance, you are spoiling your image. It's not a definitely a good idea to be with these kinds of things in the interview. And while answering the questions, don't take any extreme stance. Don't go to the extreme positivity, don't go to the extreme negativity. Try to make your answers balanced one, thoughtful one. Okay. You have to include your technical knowledge wherever applicable, based on the questions. Okay. And this shows that you are proactive, you are in touch with the content, you are in touch with the technical knowledge. Okay. And you are very much conscious about, you are paying attention to your studies. So this you are showing through this, you are showcasing through this, and you are showcasing like you are a lifelong learner. Okay. We have seen that in the first 2 or 3 slides, that lifelong learning, that the interviewers are interested to know whether the candidate is lifelong learner. Lifelong learner, the term itself tells that you are always ready to learn new things. You are keeping yourself updated about the knowledge. Okay. The 7th thing on the screen in front of you, that is, on the day of interview, make sure that you are properly dressed. Okay. In a formal attire. And you are carrying with you the copies of your resume and the relevant certificates that are required. And you are keeping those certificates in a proper formal case. Don't go with this poor old one kind of case for this. And all the documents, the copies, Xerox copies that I'm specially talking about, that should be well rested in these folders or that case that you are bringing. And these Xerox and the resume should be fresh. It should not be old one. Okay. The paper that you are selecting for the printing the resume, that means all these things during the resume session, your sir will definitely tell you about these things. Okay. So take care of this during the interview. Next is giving full attention. Okay. To not only what is said, but also what is not said, that is between the lines, we call it, right? So that will make you know about what the interviewers, they are expecting from you. If you are in a position, you will be able to listen between the lines. Sometimes, my friends, the important things are left unsaid in the lines, and make sure that you will be in a position to catch those things, catch the every bite of what the conversation or the dialogue is going on between you and the interviewers. And do listen carefully what you are being asked, what kind of questions are asked. And if you don't understand, confirm it again, request it politely. And while answering, do not deviate from the main, we can see your answer, right? Don't deviate from one thing to another thing, or keeping deviating from one to another. That will create a wrong impression, right? So interviewers, they like to listen straightforward and to the point answers. Remember, my friends, the job interview is a platform, is an opportunity for you where you can market yourself. Okay. So it is a strategic conversation with a purpose in the mind. And your goal is to persuade the employer that you have the skills, abilities, necessary background with you, okay, to do that job, and that you can comfortably fit in the organization, in their organization, and in their culture also. And for this, to showcase this, you have to study the organization before going for the interview. And don't rely on your application or resume, that your application, the wording in it, the resume, and its smartness of it, that will sell you. No, don't rely on it. No matter how qualified you are for the position, you will need to sell yourself to the interviewers, right? Don't forget it. You are going to sell yourself there. So how to sell it, that you have to learn. Friends, never leave an interview with an uneasy, like uneasiness. Like many times it happened with the students or the candidates, that they ask themselves, like, I wish I had said this and that in the interview. And this kind of feeling is very, very bad. Okay, never leave an interview without knowing when you can expect to hear from the employer. Okay, so most will make a point, or they will tell you in the interview. The best way to end your interview is the same way that you have started, with the same enthusiasm, with the same energy that you have started. It may be of 10 minutes of interview or half an hour of interview. Okay, when you are shaking hand, thank the employer for the interview at the end, and reiterate your interest in the position with that. In addition to that, okay, I'm positively looking for it, for your response. Likewise, some kind of comment, if you will leave at the end, it will be a very positive sign for the interviews.
Sir,
We should, yes, please.
how to answer? Tell me yourself about yours.
Yeah. So it's a very, very common question. Might be all of you have observed that in the school or even in the college also, even in the very first class of each and every subject, the teacher asks the question that let us get introduced to each other. But ask yourself, like, how very poorly we introduce ourselves, or the student introduce themselves in the class. And the same happens in the interview also. We are not serious about this question. Actually, this question is, we call it that it will keep the ball rolling, or this is just opening question. And this opening question is there to make you comfortable with the interview. Actually, these HR people, they ask this very, because this is very simple question, and they ask this question to the candidate to make you comfortable to the situation, comfortable with the people. But unfortunately, what happens with the most of the students, that they get confused with this question, because they couldn't answer this question confidently, and the very first impression gets spoiled. So while answering this question, as answering your question specifically, you should include your full name first, your qualification, your skills, abilities, you can say, and your specialties or some special achievements. And all these things should be relevant to the industry expectations or the expectations of the position. But these are the minimum things that are expected from each candidate to answer: your name, qualification, experience. Okay, if not industry experience, research experience, project experience, internship experience, right? So that you may confidently speak about. Your aims in your life, that you may speak about. Okay, so these are the simple things, but you have to give some thought to all these things. Means I know that I have to say about my goals, But if you are not prepared, how it will be possible for you to tell your objectives, your aim in your life, your short-term goals, long-term goals? You cannot speak unless you prepared for it, unless you jot down some points on it. The things should be very clear and the flow should be maintained. It should not be randomly or in a very complex way, these things you are putting in front of the interviewers. No, there should be proper sequence of this information. Right. I hope I answered your question. Shall I move ahead?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. So I think we can have questions in the end. I request the students to answer.
No, sir, it's okay because
okay, sir?
this will be a kind of ice breaking.
Right. Okay then. I thought let us go in the flow. So if you are comfortable, sir.
No issue.
Sometimes the questions are relevant also.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Let them ask. No issue, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
So while interacting with the interviewers, make sure that or be sure to yourself that you are addressing all the interviewers. Maybe a question will come. Suppose you are in front of the panel and the question, a specific member has asked you a question. So it means not like you are just looking at the same person and answering the question. While answering, you have to have eye contact with all the panel members. This is to respect the members. This is so that they should feel like you are interacting with all of them, not only with one person. Okay. And if you do not understand any question from the interviewers, you may openly, plainly, but politely, humbly, you may ask for the clarification. Okay. So moving ahead, you have to take time to think before answering the question. Don't quickly start. And before that, I will suggest that let the interviewers finish their question. Don't interrupt them. Let them finish the question. Take a pause of not of minutes, only a few seconds, so that you could recollect the things from your memory, recollect the information, and you could present it with the confidence. And give complete answers as much as possible to these questions. While answering the questions, you please try to be honest, truthful, and fair to yourself. Don't say anything negative, any kind of complaining kind of things about your former employer, organization, colleagues, supervisors. Okay, and that's why I told you a few minutes back that you have to intentionally avoid any kind of negativity, arrogance in the interview. No negative comments, no complaint. Okay, so when being asked about your weakness, I observed in the classroom also, the student make list of their weaknesses. See, when you are talking about your strengths and weaknesses, about strength, I will tell that all of you may have many different strengths, but to speak about or list about only those strengths that are going to be relevant for the job, for the position. And on the contrary, speak about only those weaknesses that are not going to hamper your selection and the process and the position. I hope you are getting my point. List all such strengths that are going to help you to secure your job, and tell about only those weaknesses that will not hamper your selection in the interview. Right? Finally, do You show what you can do for the company rather than what company can do for you. Many times students or the candidate, they are more interested to know that what company is doing or can do for you. But if you will focus more on what or how useful you are for the company, so that will be more kind of positive, more kind of, we can say, your assertive approach it will showcase. Now during the interview, again, as in the opening of the session also I told you that your body language is very important. So quickly we will go through again body language, because see, body language, it requires, if you will go thoroughly with this topic, it requires 2 to 3 days of training in the body language with practice. Okay, but we'll quickly go through some of the points related to body language and related to this in the interview context. Okay, so these gestures and the body movements, these are the unconscious form of expression. Okay, and therefore they have a language of their own. It has its own meaning. Might be some of you are knowing of this. So we are unaware of the gestures and the body movements almost 99% of the time. But the other people, they keep noticing you. They are assessing you. They are getting more clues through your body language about you as a person, your attitude, your abilities, your skills. Okay. So in the interview, suppose the crossed arms are there. If you are there in the chair with the crossed arms, it means that the person is in a defensive mode, in a reserve mood. You are reserved. You are not going to participate in this. Okay, so we are talking about the general kind of conclusion, general kind of understanding of this body language, right? So this is not a universal truth. Okay, don't treat these terms, these meanings as a scientific. But these are the general kind of. Most of the times people consider this body language as this, or this body language means this. Okay. The second is crossed arms and also crossed legs. This means that the person feels very reserved and the person is suspicious. You are suspicious about the things that are happening. Your open arms and the hands, it indicates that the person is receptive, flexible, open to the things, wants to participate, wants to interact. Sitting in a chair next, sitting in a chair, shaking one of your legs, it means that the person is nervous and uncomfortable. If you are keeping your eyes downcast and if you are frequently turning your face away from the interviewers, so it means that the person is not interested in what is happening or what kind of the dialogue interaction that is going on. Okay. Next is with a palm of hand, you are holding and stroking the chin. It means that the person is in an evaluating position. You are analyzing, you are criticizing, you are evaluating others. You may give this sense to interviewers, maybe interviewers also with this. So don't do that. So otherwise interviewers will think that you are a candidate and you are analyzing them. So this will be a very awkward kind of situation. So be very careful about your body language. Okay. If you are rubbing and touching your nose when you are answering the question, that means that you are trying to tell or you are avoiding complete truth. You are keeping few things reserved, secret, or you are telling lie. And if you are maintaining good eye contact and smile, and you are relaxed, you are in a happy mood, it definitely indicates that the person is 100% you are receptive. You are in receiving mode. And if you are rubbing your back head, you are rubbing, or you can say touching your back neck, it indicates that the conversation that is going on between you and the interviewers, that is not interesting for you, not for all. It's not interesting for you. So that means the interviewers will feel that you are not interested in the position, you are not interested, you are not enjoying the interview, you are not open, right? So these kinds of negative body language you have to avoid in the interview. And for that, mock practice with your friends, your relatives, your seniors, and recording it and analyzing the recording is highly recommended for you, so that you will come to know about these clues, and in the practice you will intentionally avoid these things, and ultimately in the final interview you will be successful with this. Okay, now we are moving to the final part of it, final stage, that is after the interview, what you are supposed to do. See, most of the students, they forget to do these kinds of activities, or almost 90% of the students, they don't do anything after the interview. Actually, this is a very important portion, very important part, very important section, very important stage, we can say, of the whole interview process. That how you react, what you do after the interview. So the first thing that you have to do is, after the interview, friends, jot down some notes to yourself. What you are, what are your impressions of how the interview went? Did you learn something new, important about the employer? What is to happen next, and when? Where there are any weak spots that you failed to make? Okay, so keep these points, these important notes in an orderly fashion with you, and it should be easily available to you. This information should be available to your fingertips. Okay, so be careful about this. Keep noting, keep notes. Okay, now it is a standard practice, it is a standard advice, but unfortunately only 10% of the job seekers follow this. 10 to 5%, not more than that. That's precisely why you should do this, that is, write a thank note to the organization, to the interviewers. A few, we can say, well phrased words of gratitude, as well as reaffirmation of your interest, that can make your interview and you more memorable for the interviewers. Friends, unless you are specially asked to correspond by mail, it's recommended to have a typewritten note or the handwritten note, and without fail send it within 24 hours of the interview. 24 hours of the interview. Okay, if the interviewer suggested that you take additional steps, such as completing application, visiting a branch office, or giving a call later, talking to a specific person, you please take these advices seriously. It was given for a reason, and if you ignore it, it will cost you the offer, the job. Okay, if you were told you would hear by the end of this week, after 15 days, and if you haven't, give an employer a reminder call. Usually you will simply be told that the decision is still under the consideration, and revised timeline you will get from on the phone. So go back to the waiting, and after the new timeline again passes, if you still haven't received any response from the organization, again, please approach to the organization, but this approach should be very polite one. During such call, you sometimes you may get disappointing news. Like, sorry, we should have gotten you earlier, but we hired someone else for the position few days back or yesterday, whatever it is. And it's very tough, I know. It will definitely hurt you. But let us accept it as a news. Accept it as a news. And look at that incident as a learning experience and move ahead. Only the positive response to this situation, this hurting situation, is there only in our hand. We can't do anything else than that. Right? So, friends, rejection, this is nearly inevitable part of the interview process because thousands of candidates appear for the process. And not everyone loves this. Toughen up and live with it, my friends. Never forget that your success rate multiplies with the persistence. Try to learn from the problems you encountered, work on the questions that give you tough time in the interview. There may be some such 2-3 questions. At your next interview, friends, remember to work on these items that you wished you had said in the last interview. With outstanding preparation, my friends, and little practice, you can enjoy the interview, definitely. If you are consistently passed over the positions, try to identify the potential problem that is there with you because you are consistently failing in the interview. In this case, it is highly recommended that you will get the professional guidance for the improvement in your performance in the interview. Right? So friends, this, and there are many more things that are there. I'm not claiming that everything I have addressed about the interview preparation, interview techniques, and all. So there are many things with many resources, many videos, many textbooks, many internet websites. You will come to know about many things of interview. You please read as many things as possible about the interview do's and don'ts, tricks and tips and techniques, and practice it. I told you in the beginning that the success, if you want to be successful in interview, if you want to crack the interview, only key is practice. Prepare and practice, nothing else. Okay, we, the trainers, teachers, are there to guide you always. We will help you to overcome these kinds of we can say the situations that we talked now. That is, if you are consistently failing in the interview, identifying the weakness, working on it. So there are these trainings and the guide and the teachers that will help you, definitely help you. But this will be only 20 to 30%. Rest 80 to 70% you have to work on yourself. Right? So with this note, I'm going to end this short presentation. Due to time constraint, I could not finish it. I could not touch all the aspects of it. There are many things like body language, application, job application, body language, and still there are many things to discuss about the interview tips. But if time permits, if I will get another opportunity, definitely I will come to you with some additional information that will definitely help you in future. So with this, I'm going to end my session. If you have any doubt, any query in your mind, you may ask me.
Pradeep Pawar sir, thank you so much. You have covered many aspects, at least like 3 to 4 aspects, which were really important, right? The major aspects, I should say, they are covered, right? And you started with the story that was obviously relevant to the situation, right? And they will, of course, remember it forever, right? And you have covered many points, what should be done before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. So I think our students could visualize that they are facing the interview, and that was the excellent job done. Thank you so much, sir, once again. If any students have any questions, doubts, please share your doubts, questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Huh,
yes, please.
Kaustuv, please.
Excuse me. Sir, if panel of 5 members is sitting in front of that candidate,
Huh.
one of them asked a question, then is it necessary to maintain eye contact to all of 5 or to just to maintain with that member, sir?
No, no, no. You have to maintain eye contact with all 5 members. If you have 5 members in front of you, though you have received a question from one, you may start answering by looking at that person, but you have to keep moving your eyesight. Otherwise, see, if you are looking at only one person during answering, it may trigger different kinds of suspicions in the mind of interviewers. Like you may have some kind of connection with that person. You cannot mean you are not respecting us. Okay, so this is another conclusion they may reach to. So this will again spoil your performance in the interview. So it is better. See, this is the committee, this is the panel, not an individual that you are that is interviewing you. The panel is interviewing you. So it is better that you will look in the eyes of all the members while you are answering, though question come from a specific or particular member. Okay, so that is advised, and please follow this. And your respect. See, I would like to tell all of you that while answering, and sometimes what happens is there may be some lady in the panel. So while answering, look at the face only, okay, and especially above nose, okay, the forehead part. You please look at that only. Okay, don't look at other body parts of the gentleman or lady. Okay, see, this is very important. Eye contact means, or looking at the interviews means only looking at forehead or in the eyes, no other body parts. Be very careful about this. Yeah, please.
And sir,
Yes,
sir,
please.
I think that to maintain eye contact to all of them 5 members, sir, then we will little bit confusing with the answer, sir.
No,
at that
why?
time.
No. See, answer is a separate thing. The content of answer is a separate thing, right? So you are not getting confused with the content. This is first thing. Now, as I told you that you are looking, see, all the 5 panel members, they will sit in front of you on the other side of the table. So you have to just slightly move your head. Not required to hold this kind of change you are not going to make. That kind of panel members 10, 15 will not be there in front of you. Even they are there in front of you, but the space will be limited one. So you have to just eyesight, you have to move. You need not to move your head, right? You have to move just eyesight. And that is enough. That is enough. And this has no correlation with your content. If you are correlating with your content, that means there is some problem with your preparation on the content. So you should not make it as an excuse, like I should only look at the only one person. No, you have to give, this is, as I told you, this is a kind of giving respect to the members. Otherwise, you may put yourself in their chair and think that if some candidate or one candidate is not looking at you, what kind of feeling you will generate in you? You will feel like he's not respecting me, he's not looking at me, that means, or he is looking at specific member only. Sorry, that means they may have some kind of settlement also. That also may be the conclusion, and that will be extremely dangerous for you. Okay, so better look at all the members.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir. And sir, one more thing I want to ask you, sir.
Please.
Can you tell some examples of weakness which will not hamper in selection?
See, about weakness, everyone, each one of us, we have some weaknesses, but we have to list out, or we have to speak about only 1 or 2 weaknesses, and especially that will not hamper your position or selection. This is one thing. Another important thing, asking about your weakness is a tricky question. They are not interested to know about your weakness. They are interested to know about your approach towards weakness. Like whether you are doing something to overcome that weakness, whether you are training yourself, whether you are reading something about it, whether you are interested, whether you are showing your positive attitude towards overcoming your weakness. And what you are doing is of more interest for the interviewers than knowing your weaknesses. They are not interested at all about your weakness. But yeah, definitely they will. If you are saying that I'm very much lazy, how you could say that you are lazy? This is your weakness. You can't say you are lazy. You can't say I'm short-tempered. Saying short-tempered is very difficult. It will be difficult for the interviewers to select you. So don't tell these kinds of things. Right? You may say weakness, as your question is, you may say like, I couldn't trust the people quickly. Now this is okay, acceptable, because you take time to trust on the people. You need to observe them, you need to study, you need to interact, and then you accept the people or their views. That is okay, this is acceptable. This is neither it is positive nor it is negative. So such kind of things try to tell the interviewers in answer to that question. What are your weaknesses?
Yes, sir. May I add something?
Yes, please, sir.
So we can, yeah, just in line with you, we can have the weakness like, sir, I generally get stressed if I get more work or 2 or 3 works at a time, but I do not consider it as my weakness, because the kind of stress I have, it helps me to complete the work in time or on time. So means here your weakness is also a positive point, a positive plus point, you can say, for the situation. So it will not work against you, it works for you. So that is how I think we can list one or 2 points or weaknesses, as you have just mentioned. Kaustubh, I think your question is answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Om, please.
Sir, as you have told that there are going to be such questions which are going to be asked, like why you should be selected and all that. How to answer to those questions, sir?
Could you please repeat?
As you have mentioned that there are going to be questions, say like why you should be selected and all. So how to answer those questions?
Yeah, see, there are, if you will search for these kinds of very common questions, you will get a list of around 20 to 25 such questions. And you will find the standard answers or some guidelines to answer such kind of questions. But specifically talking about this question, like you may insist on your strengths, abilities, your experience, okay, to answer this question, right?
Sir, is it all time compulsory to couple your traits with weakness? And if not so,
No,
then
no,
how
not
will
necessary.
it affect?
No, no,
How will it affect?
not necessary. Don't couple it. Don't couple it always. It depends upon the context. It depends upon the question. It depends upon what has been asked earlier, and that's why you have to be alert in the interview. What has been asked, and what is the next question? What is that question? And accordingly, you have to club the things.
Sir, even one more question, sir. Sir,
Yes.
do looks really matter for plus credits?
Does it? Please
Do
repeat.
looks really matters for plus credits?
Sir, he is talking about MOOCs, online courses.
Sir, I
can
mean looks.
Looks, okay.
Yeah.
Does looks appearance, you mean?
Yes, sir, really matters for plus credits. Say like, the way you
Yeah.
look, yeah, posturize and all that thing.
Definitely, because see, you are going to appear for the professional, the selection process of the professional organization, and these organizations have their own reputation and their standard practices, and they are always in search of such a candidate who will suit in their environment and the culture. So you have to definitely follow. We are talking about the private multinational companies. We are not talking about the government interviews. Right.
I mean for the government interviews, sir, means how it should be actually.
Even see, minimum formal standards that you need to follow, minimum. Okay, but if you are going for the specific private organization, you have to follow the cultural norms or expectations that they are expecting from you as a candidate. Definitely that you need to follow. There is no excuse, there is no way out. In earlier
Second,
days, 20, 50 years ago, the scenario was different. Old people may tell you some different things, but nowadays situation is changed. These corporates, these organizations, they have their own practices, and they want the candidate who is suitable for them.
sir, in what ways does that affect for government interviews, especially?
Government interview, see, in the government interview, you will not be affected by your appearance. Minimum, those kinds of, we can say, the standards, if you will follow, that is okay. Need not to go beyond that. Means you have to be, the dress should be clean. About your hygiene, you have to take care of, because in that in such interviews, your knowledge, your experience has more, we can say, get emphasized than the rest of the things. But corporates, they are more conscious about their image. So they want somebody who will help them in image building kinds of tasks and activities. See, might be where your location is. When even I will tell you the example of my city. There is an ex company. I will not disclose the name of that company. But whenever the bus and the people, they are go up and down, they are doing in the bus, and when we look at them, we immediately means comes to know that these people are from this company, based on their look, their dress, their behavior, how they are talking. All these things matter a lot, and it is image building that you need to be very careful about.
So basically, looks means your appearance doesn't matter for government interviews. In the nutshell.
Yeah, not that much. I'm saying not that much. But see, with a ragged shirt and all these things, you can't reach to the interview. Right.
Yes, sir.
So see, this is the we can say the general, we can say a common sense, that whatever the minimum is that you need to follow. But to see for the government interview, you need not to go with very as we talked about, like fresh documents, a very new good portfolio, or we can say the file for it. That is not actually, they are not much bothered about these things in the government interviews. They are more concerned about your talent, your utility. Private organizations are equally interested in talent and utility, but in addition to that, they are looking for you as a representative of the organization.
Thank
I
you,
hope.
sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Dear students, any other questions? You
Sir.
can ask. Huh, please.
Sir, while hello, sir.
Your voice is breaking. Please try again.
Sir, now it's clear.
Yes, yes.
Sir, while coming to technical interviews, if by chance we don't know a question perfectly, then how to bypass that question?
You mean if we do not know the answer?
Like sometimes we happen, even if you prepare to the extreme level, there are few questions which we unknowingly get left from us. And if by chance interview asks that questions, how to tackle with that questions, that type of questions?
In this case, don't tell wrong answer. One thing, don't tell lie. Another thing, accept. Third thing is accept that you don't know the answer. And fourth, but very important thing is that though I know this, I don't know this answer of this question, I will definitely go to the resources and I will try to know what the answer of this question is. So this is your positive attitude or assertiveness that you need to showcase at the end.
Okay. Any other question? Do you have any questions? You can share your questions or doubts through the chat also.
Sir, if interviewer asks a question about our professional personal life, so what to do in this situation? Should I give answer professionally manner or personal manner?
See, very first thing is that the committee members or the interviewers, they are highly professional and they trained. Exceptionally, somebody may ask you this kind of question, but I don't think anyone will ask you very personal question. And about the personal details, most of the things are there in the resume or your biodata. If unfortunately such question comes, if it is not very personal or something that may embarrass you or the interviewers, nothing wrong in telling them. Tell them.
So we can tell them professionally.
Yeah. Answer that question. Don't avoid that question.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Kaustubh.
Sir, in how much extent language can become a hurdle, sir, for the government interviews?
Everywhere language is very important. Very important. If you are not good with language, it will be definitely a hurdle for you. Be very careful about it. You should have command over language. There is no way out or there is no excuse for this.
Sir, I think because of the number of questions and the expressions used here, I think we cannot differentiate when it comes to interview. We cannot say that it is a government interview or corporate or professional interview.
Right.
So if the students have the impression that there are certain other things which are required for the corporate interview and which are some different set of things for the government interview, I think it is big no for it.
No.
Interview
Please,
is interview and certain things.
please
are
don't
required.
misinterpret it like this.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions so far, please? Sir, if sir has time actually, right? So if sir has time, we can have one or two questions more quickly because
Sir, what are the words we should not use in the interview? Just like myself, this is.
Indirect, the things that are indirect, that should be avoided. Try to be direct. As you said, myself is indirect. Say I am. It is more direct.
Yes.
Sir, what can we do is we may collect these questions if you have, and
Yes,
you
sir.
may mail me. Or sir will give you answers to these questions. Or if the large number of such questions comes, we will have another session
Sure, sir.
to answer your all these questions.
Sure.
Sir,
Tushar.
is it necessary to tell them full name of our Our full name or only short first name?
It is better to go with full name. First time. In rest of the conversation, go with your first name. No issue. But when you are introducing first time yourself, it is better to, it's not compulsory again. It's better to have your full name. Sir, I think we should conclude then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you so much once again. We will surely love to have you, sir, once again. Okay.
Yeah.
Again on the same topic, right? So
Yeah,
whatever is
definitely.
left, we can discuss so that we can have the bigger picture of the topic, right?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Thank you,
Definitely.
sir. Yeah, thank you so much for your presence, your guidance, discussion, right? We will
Thank you.
surely have collaboration. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again, all
Yes.
of you. And I am
Just-
again thankful to the institute for giving me an opportunity to be with your students and have this kind of very healthy interaction with the students. Thank you
Sure,
again.
sure. So
Thank you.
just a second. We have another student, our IT student, Nishita. Civil. Om, please continue.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words and guidance today, sir. It was such a pleasure to learn more about interview techniques from you, and sure we'll try our level best to imbibe all the qualities and things you have guided us today. Thank you once again, sir, and all. Now I request Miss Nishita to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Nishita.
Thank you, Om. Dear all, I am Nishita Rahul Sawan. I am extremely grateful to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Pradeep Pawar, sir. Sir, you have guided our students on the very significant topic of facing an interview. All these students are going to face the interview in future, and that is why your guidance will surely prove useful to all of us. Pawar, sir, on behalf of our institute and all the students, I once again express my gratefulness to you for taking time from your busy schedule and guiding all of us. I'm thankful to our principal, Dr. R.S. Bichkar, sir, for his consistent motivation and cooperation. I'm also thankful to the head of department of first year, Dr. Aparna Sajjan ma'am, all the head of departments, training and placement officer, Mr. Suraj Kumbhar, sir, and all the teachers for their motivation and also attending the session with all of us. Let me express my gratefulness to our teacher, Mr. Anil Patil, sir, for organizing such a useful and important session for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. We will have many challenges in our life and career, and your guidance will surely help all of us to confidently face them. So, thank you so much once again. Now I declare the program is over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nishita. Thank you so much. Pawar, sir, thank you so much once again.
Thank you all.
Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
please
very
take
much.
care of yourself. All the dear students, please take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Someone is trying.
Sir, will you don't mind? Can you share the PDF of the session?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Sir, your phone number.
I will share it with the with Patil sir,
Mobile
and
number.
he will share it with you.
Sure.
Sir, your mobile number.
Yeah, you can get it from sir. Sir is
Yes,
having my
yes.
details with him. You
Sure,
may get
sure.
it.
I will share sir's in details, mobile number, everything, right? The session PDF also. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shall I
Please take-
leave then?
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir.
Please. Thank you. Good day. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Dear all students, there is a feedback and attendance leak. I will just share the link now. Dear all, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will share the link. I will share the link for attendance and feedback. Please fill it right now. I'm not going to post it on WhatsApp groups, right? So yeah, let me first of all say thank you to all of you. You have actively participated and of course asked very relevant questions, of course, right? So I'm thankful to you. Please make sure that you participate like this in our programs in the future as well, right? Let me quickly share the link. Yeah, I have shared the link just now. Please make sure that you fill the attendance and let me know if it is working properly. Has anyone opened the link by now?
Yes, it is work, sir.
It is working fine. Aditya, yeah, someone, yeah. Thank you so much. Om, Nishita,
Yes, sir.
both of you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank
So
you, sir.
you have done the excellent job. Rest of the students, my dear friends, let me call them. Thank you so much for your wonderful participation also. Right? Shall we stop here? Yes. Shall we stop? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Please take care of yourself and your family as well. Yeah. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please, you can leave. Huh? Thank you so much.